Hey everybody, Matt Cribbs here, and welcome back to another Wednesday morning drive. How you doing? I am doing pretty good. It's been a good week. It's been a busy week. It was my birthday over the weekend, and that was awesome. You know, got good stuff from the family. I'm at the age where birthdays are like, we can just ignore those, but no, you don't ever ignore a birthday. So I got that. I passed an arbitrary date and time that makes me say I am a year older. So woohoo! It was good. And then, it just things with that. Birthdays happen. You take the opportunity to thank you introspect or whatever it is. But then there's the articles, and there was an article I read and stuff going on with Elon Musk and Boeing, which is basically they're in a verbal so far. Well, there's technology involved, there's things going on, but they are declaring opening shots have been fired in a space race to Mars. And that is, frankly, we are in the future. We are living in the future. And it's the amount of stuff that is going on right now is just amazing. And it's such a great time to be experiencing all this stuff. Even though there's lots of problems in the world, yes there are. There's lots of things we have to fix, yes there are. But we are making technological progress at an unprecedented rate, and it's only going up. And it's just amazing. Yes, if you know your future and technology stuff, it's a little Kurzweilian. Ray Kurzweil, the futurist Google guy, AI guy. So there's things going on that are really, really exciting. And you have these figures that are seeing things. You have Kurzweil, who says, AI and the singularity and technological progress is just increasing exponentially, and we're going to reach this point where the machines we make are smarter than us and can make themselves in the next generation smarter, and then they make themselves smarter, and then they make themselves smarter, and boom, we have a technological singularity like a black hole where our ability to see what can happen in the future is blocked because it's just going to be so different that it's unpredictable. And that's the one side of things that have been, and he's been saying this for decades. And then you have Elon Musk, who is actually anti-AI and anti a lot of this stuff, but is very, very all about space exploration with rockets and stuff. He's anti-space elevator. He's got some interesting opinions. But we have these things and all these forces and some visionaries alive right now who are really, pushing us to think and discover technologies to make these visions real. And it's just really, really cool. I mean, I was around in year 2000, which is, when I was growing up, the year 2000 was universally believed to be the future. It's now the past, but where have we got? And we have done so many things that are part of science fiction that are now real. And if you just look at it, like look at Star Trek, you have the pad, the iPad, you have the communicator with our cell phones, you have, these technologies, you have, hoverboards. No, we didn't make those. Artificial intelligent helpers. Yes, we have those. They're still young, they're still learning, but we have those. The Matrix, we have, not the Matrix the movie, the Matrix as in the cyberpunk vision of the Matrix, which is this, realm that you go into and you can influence all the computers that are there. Well, we have the internet and VR. Those are the building blocks of these things. Virtual reality itself was the future, and now we have these headsets that do these. But the one place besides flying cars and hoverboards, because we were supposed to have flying cars by now, and yeah, not. But the one area where we really, wow, it is bright today. The one area where we really have not made as much progress as, everyone had been predicting is space and space travel. We are And to be fair, a lot of the predictions around space were made in the heady days post-Apollo, or not mid-Apollo, where, you know, man went to the moon, and where can we go after this? We're going to have asteroids and Mars and colonies on the moon, and then nothing. Well, not nothing. There was a space shuttle. There was exploration, but now primarily our exploration is unmanned, and that's good because it lets us go places that are much, much further away than a man could ever go. I mean, some of these missions have, you know, lifespans measured in years and years, and we just can't put people up there for that long. Even a trip to Mars is exceedingly long for humans to remain in space. But people want to go there, and things have been reinvigorated. And it's sad when you think about why this has happened, because it really is tied back to the fact that we are tribal creatures, and we are angry creatures, and we compete with each other. And, you know, Apollo was all about the Cold War, and it was about US and Russia, and it was an extension of the fight between those two powers. And once we got there, there was no interest anymore. But what is happening now is this is commercial. This is not a contest that is involving, you know, governmental powers waging psychological war against each other that is powering this exploration, this drive to go into space. This is people putting money into it. And aside from killing each other, the thing human beings like to do most is have an advantage over each other. And the way we express that, beat each other. I guess it's an extension of killing each other, but we left off the killing part. But the way this whole conflict and strife that we love to do so much as a species is kind of most embodied in our modern day and age is, you know, money, capitalism, fighting and if you look at the markets, and if you look at everything that we do with companies and predatory, it's ugly, it's gross, but it you know, it really is the extension into the modern era of people competing against each other, in this case to gain pieces of paper. So we're doing this, and this is what I think is the exciting difference, is that now we have people that are pushing to get into this race, this very expensive, very time-consuming, very long trek to get man back into space, and they are not motivated by, you know, it's not a government doing it, it's a private sector. Why this is happening now? Things have opened up. Regulations, laws have been made to allow this to happen in the not so distant past. Technology progress has been made to the point where it's actually now somewhat affordable for limited number of companies to be able to get their feet wet in this. There's been some encouragement of this thing to happen in the private sector. But my big fear right now is that this is driven by a few visionaries. Would we have such a robust or emerging, I won't call it robust yet, would we have such an emerging interest in commercial space travel if the personality that was Elon Musk was not involved in this? I don't know. It is the building blocks have been laid out. Many people have involved and been laying this out. But would someone step up and take the bait, as it were? Would someone come up and do it? It's hard to say. You have to have the right personality, the right interests, the right, you know, driving force that a Musk-like person is, coupled with the opportunity and frankly, being in a position of power in an organization that has the resources to do something like this. And he is. And so we're lucky for it. You know, I'm super thrilled by the fact that, you know, we are reading headlines in our newspaper that says Boeing throws down and says, we'll beat Musk to Mars. I mean, that is an amazing headline. That is a headline that you would see George Jetson, well, not, they were already on Mars, but you know what I mean. That's a headline you would see in a science fiction TV show on a fake newspaper, you know, that these two companies are battling out to see who's going to do this big space thing first. That's mind-blowing when you think about this is really happening. So, you know, would it happen without Musk? I hope so. I don't know. I guess we will see what will happen, because he's not going to be around running things and in the same position forever. I mean, I'm not even talking about, you know, he will pass away. We all die. That's one of the things that happens. But I'm talking about, you know, corporate plus ebbs and flows. You know, Tesla and Musk and everything. He's in a peak period right now, and so he can do these things. SpaceX is doing that. One huge disaster, lives lost, downturn somewhere else in the you know, there are many things that could happen that could stop this vision, and I guess we'll see, because it's almost certain that something will happen that will be a major setback. And I guess we will see how it is handled, and whether they persevere or whether they stumble and someone else steps up. It's encouraging to see others joining into the ring, but, you know, fingers crossed, and we're going to hope that it's going to keep happening. So I want the future, man. I want this future to keep coming. I want my rocket ships. I want to send postcards to Mars. I want, you know, the rest of the stuff to happen. I want to have our AI helpers and our nanobots and our space elevators, even if, you know, Musk doesn't like that. That's okay. Other people do. The future is coming, and the future is sooner than we think, and the future is now, really. So, just something on my mind that's inspiring and to think about. So, have a great day, or a great week. I will see you next week, and maybe someday we'll be doing our Wednesday morning trip to Mars videos. Who knows? Later. Bye.